Okay. Calling to order the business meeting for Diamond Lake School District 76. Roll call, please.
Ms. Angarola, Ms. Bayless here, Mr. Becker.
Here.
Ms. Hale.
Here.
Mr. Houtman.
Here.
Mr. Candela. Ms. Sullivan.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we now open the floor to public comments on agenda items. Do we have any public comments on agenda items this evening? Okay, there being no public comments on agenda items, we will move on to presentations.
All right, we have two very important presentations this evening. The first one is our core values recognition. And this month we focused on the core value of love, the L in Sparkle On. And so for our audience members, we recognize 3 staff members each month from each building. And we also then recognize students each month from each of our buildings. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Morley for Diamond Lake to please stand up and share who she is nominating tonight for the core value of love from Diamond Lake.
Today, it is my absolute privilege to honor someone whose heart shines brightly in everything that she does. Our Diamond Award winner at DLS for love is Elva Garcia. Elva's classroom is a place filled with warmth, care, and a deep sense of belonging. She doesn't just teach, she nurtures, she supports, she makes every student feel valued. From the moment her students walk through the door, they are greeted with kindness, encouragement, and a simple but powerful phrase, mi amor. Those 2 words embody who Elva is, a teacher who leads with love in every interaction. Her love extends beyond the classroom as well. She knows that a strong school-home connection is essential, and she goes above and beyond to ensure parents are informed and engaged. Whether it's a phone call to check in or a message to make sure families feel included, Elva makes sure parents are active partners in their child's education. But really, what makes Elva truly exceptional is her passion for dual language education. She is deeply committed to ensuring her students have equitable access to learning in both languages, celebrating their culture and identity while opening doors to endless opportunities. She knows that language is power, and she works tirelessly to make sure every child has the resources, support, and confidence they need to thrive. Elva, your love for your students, their families, and the power of education is inspiring. You create a classroom where every child feels seen, heard, and cherished. Thank you for leading with love and making a difference in so many lives. Let's give her a rude round of applause. Come on up, mi amor.
Please.
Thank you, everybody. I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive this award for love. As a teacher, my greatest joy comes not only from seeing my kids thrive academically, but also watching them develop the capacity to love and care for each other. I truly believe that love is the foundation for all learning and personal growth. This recognition inspired me to continue creating an environment where love, respect, and kindness can flourish. Thank you for this incredible honor.
Good evening, everyone. It's my absolute honor to stand on the step stool before you today to recognize a great teacher, compassionate leader, and a true embodiment of our core value, love. Today, we celebrate Mrs. Christiane Weber, a teacher whose kindness, warmth, and unwavering commitment to her students, colleagues, and families makes a lasting impact on each child each day. Mrs. Weber's classroom is not just a place of learning, it is a place of acceptance, safety, and belonging. She welcomes every child with an open heart and an open mind, creating an environment where all students feel valued, respected, and most importantly, loved. Her classroom is filled with diverse learning, physical, and emotional needs and challenges, and she embraces all of them with grace, empathy, and again, love. Most recently, she demonstrated her endearing qualities in the most beautiful way by welcoming a new student mid-year, seamlessly integrating them into her classroom culture. Through her hands-on guidance, nurturing, and sincere care, she made sure this child felt not only included, but truly a part of her fourth grade classroom family. But Mrs. Weber's compassion doesn't stop at her students. She extends the same kindness to her colleagues and the families that she partners with, always striving to do what is right for her and all those around her. She leads with heart, ensuring that every interaction is filled with understanding, patience, and genuine care. It is for all these reasons that Mrs. Weber is the deserving recipient of this month's Love Award from West Oak Intermediate School. Her dedication to fostering a nurturing and inclusive environment reminds us all of the profound impact a teacher can have, not just in the classroom, but in the lives of everyone she touches. Mrs. Weber, thank you for being a sparkly example of love in action. I know your love and kindness will transform the lives of the students in your classroom and will not be forgotten. Congratulations and sparkle on.
I will tell you all, I cannot follow Elvis' speech. So I just want to say thank you very much. I love this community. I love this district. I love the students. So thank you.
Okay, so to nominate somebody for our West Oak Middle Schools area of emphasis in the area of love is pretty difficult, to be honest. But selecting a staff member, is very difficult. However, one person comes to mind whose love for what they do and the people that she does it for is absolutely unmatched. Nicole Lynch is our one and only English language resource teacher in our building, and her love for teaching multilingual students is admirable and inspiring to me and others. Nicole's love goes beyond the classroom, as she regularly is found reaching out to parents to connect with them, to invite them in the building, to make them feel at home within our school. She tirelessly does everything in her power to meet the needs of our students. I believe she just finished up with access testing 120 kids, and that includes 4 exams. So she's pretty phenomenal here. She meets the needs of our students, our families, and our community, and these efforts do not go unnoticed and unappreciated. Nicole's love for others allows her to develop deep connections and relationships where these students and families continue their friendships with Nicole far beyond their short time together in middle school. Nicole is an example of what it looks of what we are looking for in continuing our strong climate and culture at West Oak Middle School as she works to make a difference in all of our students' lives every day. So thank you, Nicole, for your love you share with everyone you come in contact with and for making our school better. So thank you.
I prepared a little something because yes, always be prepared, right? Yeah. So first and foremost, I want to thank our administrators for this honor and recognition. It's truly gratifying to be acknowledged by colleagues and professionals that I hold in such high esteem. As an experienced educator, I've continually asked myself throughout the years, what do our students need in order to thrive? And although educational trends have evolved and changed, one answer remains constant: love. Above all else, our students need to feel loved to thrive. We teachers spend significant time with our students, and in doing so, we have the potential to significantly impact their self-confidence and their well-being. We as teachers are able to guide and influence students' development in powerful ways, and I recognize this honor and responsibility. I have the good fortune of working with the vast majority of my students over the course of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I am blessed to see them grow and develop over the entirety of their middle school experience. Many of my pupils are newcomer students, continuously striving to achieve biliteracy and biculturalism. Their educational experience is not an easy one. It has been my honor to collaborate with our students and their families to imbue our children with a sense of welcome, belonging, community, safety, self-esteem, pride, value, and a newfound sense of opportunity, possibility, and potential. I'm truly blessed to spend my days with such courageous and deserving children. They are the best part of my workday, today and always. So thank you for the privilege of allowing me to work with them here at District 76 over these past 20 years. Oh, so I got a little more. I'm kind of long-winded. I'm almost done. I'm wrapping it up. I was just going to say, love is ingrained in all aspects of my life here at District 76. I have a love and passion for learning, as well as for my vocation. I love working for an administration that embodies this value in their own conduct with staff and students alike. In fact, they're often very explicit in their emphasis of the importance of love. For example, Dr. Sharma Lewis often cites Maya Angelou's quote, "I learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." She and I are of a similar mind. It is my sincerest desire that when our District 76 alumni reflect back on their experiences here, they remember feeling loved and accepted, empowered to overcome any obstacles they may face, confident and secure to be their truest selves, and able to flourish and thrive. I believe that the love and care we offer our children affords them every opportunity. So thank you for bestowing this little bit of love on me tonight. I promise I will continue to pass it along.
I swear each month it gets harder and harder. They get more and more emotional. Nice job and congratulations to our 3 amazing and loving teachers. All right, now I'm going to call up our teachers that are going to recognize their students. Oh, from Diamond Lake, we have Mrs. Jahant.
Hi, I'm nominating Guillermo for our Love Award. Guillermo demonstrates love in our classroom in so many ways. He is always ready to help others and shows kindness and compassion. Whether he is guiding preschoolers down the hallway or helping a new student learn our daily routines, he makes sure everyone feels supported and included. Guillermo also has a true love for learning. He always puts in his best effort when tackling something new, and the excitement on his face when he understands a new concept is truly inspiring. His kindness and enthusiasm makes our classroom a better place every day. Congrats, Guillermo. Thank you.
Mrs. Weber.
I'll talk. So I have the privilege to nominate Emmy Gonzalez for the Love Award, and she is the epitome of love. She is a role model to all the students at West Oak, both younger and older. I can't say enough of when I think of love, I think of Emmy. She will help all of her classmates. She will help her teachers. She will help the person trying to walk into the office, telling them where to go, what to do. She is my right-hand woman. She is just, she puts a smile on everyone's face. She's a ray of sunshine. She is love. And she was very nervous that I had to talk about her, so I'm gonna make it quick for her. But if I were to ask any student in our classrooms, out of all 45 students, they would say Emmy is the epitome of love, and she just brings a smile to everyone's face. Yay, Emmy!
Thank you.
Mrs. Sklar from our middle school.
So this is probably one of the easiest ones I've written, but also one of the most important ones I've written. So Teddy, when I heard that you were nominated this month for the quality of love, my heart burst into a million pieces and I knew exactly what I had to do. I knew that writing you this nomination would be as easy as breathing for me. Recognizing you for something that just comes so naturally to you, it's an honor and it takes no effort for me. I remember you walking into our school as a 6th grade student. You became part of my little family and showed all of us love from day one. You were so caring and loving and full of life, just like you are now. I want to acknowledge the incredible warmth and kindness you bring to everything you do. Your heart is truly full of love, and it shines through the way you interact with others, always offering support, encouragement, and a smile when it's needed most. You have a rare ability to love those around you no matter what, and you have such a beautiful gift. The love you bring into this world is something rare and special and a true reflection of who you are inside. You have an extraordinary ability to share your love for people and brighten even the darkest moments with your gentle and kind spirit. Teddy, our world is better with you in it. If there is one thing I want you to take away from your time with me, it's this. Never underestimate the power of the love you share. It makes a difference in ways you may not always see. But I can promise you, it's deeply felt by those lucky enough to know you. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Always shine that beautiful and loving light and know that your love is a force for good in this world. I truly believe that your loving heart will change lives and make an impact on so many, just as it has on mine. As you go through your life, know that you are one of a kind and that you are one that I will never, ever forget. I hope that you always remember how much your love matters and how your love has touched everything around you at West Oak, especially me. You are a true light in this world, and I am blessed to be part of your journey. With all of the love in my heart, Mrs. Sklar.
Sorry.
Thank you all for everything. I know. It's okay. Don't worry.
Well, thank you, family and friends, for attending our love presentations for our students and our amazing staff. And I know Mr. Hanson would like to take pictures of all of you, but then we're going to transition to our second presentation tonight, which is an update from our Professional Advisory Council on our mid-year goals and priorities. So Mr. Hanson, would you like to take those pictures real quick? Thank you all. If you have to leave, we completely understand. And then I'm going to have the Professional Advisory Council. We're going to switch to that presentation, and then I will introduce all of you.
So
Yeah, it's been a long day. Tired. Yeah. They're cute. Very cute. The audience is shrunk. I know.
Let me turn this on. This is our mid-year update of our district goals and priorities. And we always start out at the beginning of the year with the district leadership team presenting our goals and priorities to the board for their review and approval. And then about this time of year, we have our professional advisory council, which I will share who they are and what they do, give the mid-year update of how we're doing from a teacher's perspective at each building. And then we kind of end the year with the district leadership team sharing out all of the progress that we've made throughout the year. So what is our professional advisory council? Just so everyone knows, it's really a group of staff members as well as a district leadership team that foster collaboration, shared ownership, shared voice, and decision-making in our district strategic plan and priorities. It's really designed for everyone to kind of have a voice in the decision-making and making sure that all the diverse perspectives, especially from staff members, and that also represent students and their families, are considered in leading the district initiatives and executing our district goals and priorities. And then by working together, PAC, which is Professional Advisory Council, drives continuous improvement, which is really important to us as a district and to our board, enhance student outcomes, and strengthen the District 76 culture and climate, which is, as you all know, a huge priority for us. So membership is 3 members from each of our schools, as well as our district leadership team, who you see up here. We meet 4 times a year with a longer meeting in the summer to kind of review and reflect on how the year went, and then set goals for the next year. All right, so I'm going to introduce each of the members, and then they're going to come up and share when we start reviewing each of the goals. So from Diamond Lake, we have Mrs. Restrelli, who teaches kindergarten, Mrs. Cairns, who is our special ed resource teacher, and Mrs. Anderson, who is our preschool and early childhood teacher. Yay, Diamond Lake! From West Oak Intermediate School, we have Mrs. Uzardi, 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Hinez, who is our interventionist, and we also have Mrs. Wold, who is our social emotional learning teacher and who could not be here this evening, but they represent West Oak Intermediate School. Can we cheer for them too, please? Yay! And from our middle school, we have Mrs. Sohn, our art teacher, Miss Borkowski is our music and choir teacher, and Miss Sklar, who is our special ed interventionist. Yay, West Oak Middle School. So as a review, our annual strategic priorities and goals, we focus on academic excellence, professional excellence, operational excellence, financial excellence, and communication excellence. And from there, each of the PAC comes up with action plans that we put together under each of those priority areas. And that's what they're going to be reporting out at today for their mid-year, how we've done so far for the mid-year. We also look at data, right? We make sure that each one of our goals is measured with a data, an empirical piece of evidence of how we're doing on these goals. So for goal 1, we do academic assessments as well as our social emotional learning assessments. For goal 2, we look at our culture and climate survey for professional excellence, as well as our Marzano's high reliability schools level 3 to make sure that there's quality instruction happening in a guaranteed viable curriculum in each classroom. Goal 3, which is operational excellence, we also look at our staff support and success survey, making sure our staff have the resources and supports they need to do their job. And then also we look at the 5 essentials that we do on an annual basis. That's a statewide survey. And are those components matching up operationally with staff having what they need, the resources to do their job well? Goal 4, you'll hear from Mr. Rogers on financial excellence. He'll share with you all the different measurements he uses to making sure that we have financial health and stability. And then goal 5, we look at our culture and climate survey, and we look at our parent engagement survey results to make sure that we are communicating with excellence as well. And that, as you can see, these data pieces have been in place for over time, about 5 years, but we've rotated them in and out and updated them, and it's a cycle of continuous improvement. And really the focus of the PAC and all of us here is to make sure we uphold our Sparkle On core values, making sure that we're always leveling up and continuously improving, making sure we're leaning in and giving everything and everyone our all, and making sure that all of the things that you see here, that our leadership and our talent is being supported, our community has the resources they need, our rigorous and relevant teaching and learning and standards. We have a safe and welcoming environment. We have a strong culture and climate. We are maintaining fiscal responsibility. We have robust data, and we're using that data to guide our decisions, making sure that our communication is ongoing, transparent, and continuous, and then always making sure that not only that we have professional growth, but that our staff are engaged in professional growth and our community is also engaged in the work that we're doing. So I am going to just give a highlight of each goal, and then I'm going to have each school representative share what they've been doing as an update for all of you on the progress of each of those goals. So for for priority 1, we have knowing each District 76 students by name, strength, and need. And our 2 goals in this area are educators will utilize the data, the district-wide, multi-tiered system of supports, which is our MTSS program, to maximize student growth, including progress monitoring, which you'll hear a lot about today, and then also strengthening the social emotional SEL well-being, learning, and engagement for all of our students. So I will have I think there's 8 of you come on up, and then, there's going to be one person, right, from each that's speaking on each goal. All right, we'll have those 3 people that are going to speak on goal 1 come on up. And then I will.
I'm Caitlin Cairns. I'm a SPED teacher at Diamond Lake. The first thing is FastBridge, which is a new progress monitoring tool that both SPED and intervention are using we either do it weekly or bi-weekly to progress monitor individual goals and areas of needs for each student. For the first time this year, intervention began the school year by pushing in for Tier 1 support to all kindergarten classrooms. All grade levels have their own phonics progress monitoring tool that they use throughout the school year to progress monitor and see what areas need more attention. Diamonds on Display is a new thing that we started this school year. As you walk into the office, student work is shown on the wall. The work that is selected, the teacher provides it to them, and then the peers vote on which one they would like to have displayed. And then at our PBIS monthly assembly, the parents of those students are invited to be present for them to be awarded in front of all of the students. Sparkle On and Shine Awards are still continued. These are awards given out to students for being respectful, safe, and responsible. They're given an award, and then their picture is taken with Principal Morley, and it's posted on the wall for all to see when they enter. Hub cards are given daily. Any teacher can provide these to them, and it's for catching students that, again, are being safe, responsible, and respectful. PBIS has a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 team, which is new this year. They meet monthly to discuss data and identify areas of need for implementation and interventions. And then we are continuing Check In, Check Out, which is a Tier 2 intervention promoting positive behavior.
I'm a little shorter. I'm Vanessa Jinez, and I am the Spanish reading interventionist at West Oak Intermediate School. So at West Oak Intermediate School, we are using FastBridge, which was also mentioned by Diamond Lake. We use this for progress monitoring for reading and math interventionists. interventions. We utilize this data to make decisions about student needs. We also use a variety of programs and activities for our students' social emotional well-being. Some of these include our PBIS monthly assemblies, where we recognize students of the month that demonstrate our Sparkle On attributes. We also encourage positive behavior through possum cards, PBIS hallway challenges, the golden spatula, which is used for positive lunch behavior. We also do check-in, check-out with our coaches, our check-in, check-out coaches, and we are continuing to do morning meetings. Our specials team has started something called Student of the Day, and a wellness class has a new SEL curriculum called Character Strong.
We like to come up as a pack. Never alone, never alone. For West Oak Middle School, we as well do the FastBridge progress monitoring. We have received feedback from the SEL survey, and we're doing something new this year where every teacher has 10 to 12 students. And every month we reach out to parents and let them know how their student is doing. Not necessarily do we have that student in class. So we all do that within the school. We do positive phone calls home to make connections with the students as well as their families. We prioritize student well-being. We have weekly meetings within our teams to create action plans for students that might be in need. We have our regular assemblies that are centered around PBIS and SEL initiatives every month. We started doing peer observations with our colleagues. We're very fortunate enough that West Oak campus, we are allowed to go observe students from the intermediate side as well as our own West Oak side. So we have taken advantage of that. PAC partners, we spin a wheel, and whoever we get for that trimester, we check in with our PAC partners, make sure everything's going okay with them. We give suggestions, opinions. We just meet to see how each other's doing. And then that switches every trimester. We are fortunate enough that Dr. Berger's daughter, Polly, is at our campus this year. And she has been a wonderful support, not only to us, as well as our students on a daily basis. We have started standard-based grade report cards that have been going great. I think we all have a handle on it and are doing quite well with that. And then lastly, something new this year for special ed, we are doing the inclusion model, which is where we have our special ed students in the general education to learn from their peers.
All right, now we're going to go to priority number 2, which is professional excellence. And our goal under priority 2 is achieve level 3 status for Marzano's high reliability schools, which is a guaranteed and viable curriculum. And then I'm not going to read all of them, but we've got, as you can see, a subset of each goals of what we need to achieve in order to obtain that status. So I'm going to have, again, Diamond Lake, West Oak Intermediate, and then West Oak Middle School come up and share their outcomes.
Hi, I'm Lauren Anderson. I'm one of the pre-K blended teachers at Diamond Lake. The first thing you'll see is walkthroughs. So that's when an administrator comes in your room and just takes non-evaluative notes, and teachers receive the feedback in a Google form right away by the end of the day, and it's just a quick check-in. The next part is SLOs, which are student learning objectives, and most teams make them together, and it's just objectives that you want your students to reach by the end of the school year. And then we also have SMART goals, which are individual goals that a teacher has that they set for themselves. And then HumanX is highlighting your top 7. So all certified staff went through training. So we interviewed on the phone, and the company gave us our top 7 strengths. And so we got to talk about how we can lean on each other as a staff. If you have one strength and I have a different one, how can we work together to be a stronger team? We also utilize our Boost Your Brilliance. So this is something new. So it is in-house PD that teachers can attend. It's after school for 1 hour. All sessions are recorded so that if teachers can watch if they can't attend in person, which is very convenient. The last part is instructional coaches. We use them for various things such as attending our weekly team meetings. They help with fast bridge support, so on the SPED and intervention side, and they also help modify assessments.
West Oak Intermediate, very similar to what my colleague said. Unfortunately, due to the current leadership structure, we have been focusing on structure and data during our PLC meetings. We also prioritize individual instructional goal setting as teachers. We've created our student learning objectives for measurable student growth. We have made SMART goals to focus on achievable targets. We also use our legacy journals for reflective professional development. And finally, we've used the HumanX Select 7 to integrate and highlight individual talents with our instructional goals. As far as our coaching team, they provide support through PLC-based professional development, targeting individual coaching cycles, and the implementation of the student support team, the SST process, all aimed at enhancing teacher practice and student success.
Okay, we have some of the same things, but just something to go along with the learning walkthroughs. You know, they've been really beneficial so that we can kind of see what the administrators can kind of see what's going on in our classrooms, and then we can get that quick feedback to look for some kind of trends that are going on in the middle school. And then with our staff support, just looking at how we can support each other by sharing strategies at our team meetings, you know, whether it's with content meetings or PLCs. Marzano level 1 and 2 status was completed this summer, currently working on level 3. Sharing progress towards achieving our SIP goals. We're trying to help our tier 3 kids grow, and we are currently seeing growth with our special ed kids and our EL kids, and that is huge. So we're really happy about that. With our instructional coaching, we have Jemima Kim, who is a wonderful asset to our staff, and we love her. She is visible, open, honest, and supportive. She's been working with all of the departments, providing professional development at all of our meetings. The Boost Your Brilliance has been really great too. Just a kind of personal anecdote. One of the Boost Your Brilliance meetings really helped me grow as a person, and in turn kind of help me recognize my own strengths and weaknesses as a teacher and how to better support my students. So I think that has been really valuable this year. Looking at just staff developed like our individual instructional goals, just using data to support learning, updating our unit plans to incorporate language and learning targets. Most of the staff are finishing up with this, if not already done. And then this was our first year of a lot of new curriculum. We had TWIG, SIPs, extreme reading, robotics for Project Lead the Way, and then MDIS Envisions for math for the special education department. So we're utilizing a lot of new curriculum in areas that we haven't had curriculum in before.
Priority 3, which is operational excellence, our 2 goals in this area are structuring professional learning communities to focus on data-driven practices. So we're going to use all of our local, state, and national data, which we got a report on, as you saw at the last board meeting with our assessments, utilizing student products to inform and guide instructional practices. And then we are structuring each of our schools, building leadership teams to create an action plan to address the areas of improvement and district needs assessment based on the 5 essentials survey that we took last spring and that we take annually each spring.
Good evening. My name is Candace Rostrelli. I'm one of the kindergarten teachers here. One of the big things that we do as a team and as in-house administration is that during our PLC meetings, we use data and we discuss data to help guide our instructional plans to help best support our students. One of the things that we enjoy doing as team members is bring work samples that our students do. Oftentimes it's to show how our students have shined, that our instruction is in line in showing progress and improvement with our student work. But we also share work that maybe we're not quite sure what we should do. So we work as a team to plan on how to further support our students. As mentioned earlier with the other schools, we use many of our assessment tools such as FastBridge, our progress monitoring tool, our STAR data that we have. Our students are tested 3 times a year. We watch that so that we see growth throughout the year from beginning to end. We, classroom teachers and reading interventionists use also our Fountas and Pinnell running records so that we have up-to-date and current instructional reading levels so that we can group our students to best fit their needs. And we also look at the data that's been collected and analyzed for SWIS. SWIS is the school-wide information system that we use to analyze our student behavior. Our data is used for placement in the classroom, and the data is used to support the push-in model intervention to meet the needs of our students. So the students that need the most support, that data tells us that this is who we need to target on. And that has allowed our reading interventionists to come into the classroom, especially kindergarten, which has been very helpful. And this year, for the first time, we've had also push-in speech services, where one of our speech and language pathologists, actually both, I'm sorry, come in and are able to help support all of our students in our classroom so that we can help support our SIP goal. And that goal is the communication between peers, give them a positive way to communicate amongst each other. And with our schools building leadership team developed a plan that based on the needs assessment and the things that we do that highlight have been mentioned in previous slides, but we do the Diamonds on Display this year. This is a time where the students' work is recognized by their peers, it's chosen by their peers, and since November, we have had the Diamond on Display work in the front hallway at Diamond Lake School, and we have we recognize the students' best work, and we want to acknowledge the work that they're putting in. And we do this on our monthly assembly at our PBIS assembly. We've also included inviting our parents so that the parents of the students can be part of their recognition. We also develop Cub conversations, and this is to help for each grade level to improve and develop those conversations between peers. Oftentimes, we don't allow them to speak with one another. And so this has been a good reminder for the teachers that we need to make sure that we have the time to teach that back and forth communication. And it's okay to disagree with someone, but to give a reason why. And so we actually are teaching that even at the early kindergarten level. And then, as mentioned before, we have for the first time Boost Your Brilliance this year. And that is where the in-house staff is able to use their knowledge and their expertise on a certain area and help develop in the staff here as a professional development.
Okay, and for West Oak Intermediate School, we use the D76 data drive. Some of the assessments that we use include STAR in English language arts, Spanish language arts, and math. We also use our Fountas and Pinnell for English and Spanish reading. We're also starting to use we continue to use the Access IAR. We started to use the Apple test for our dual language students, which is very similar to Access, only it's in Spanish and they're tested in speaking, listening, writing, and reading. We also started piloting Flashlight 360, another program, and we're continuing to use common assessments as mentioned, such as the FNP. We're also using Swiss, and we store a lot of this data on the D76 data drive.
And to monitor student progress, we examine student work during our PLCs and use the assessment data from all the assessments that Ms. Hines was talking about to develop and monitor targeted goals. Also, to ensure continuous improvement, our BLT conducts monthly reviews of needs assessment and the 5 essentials data, leading to the development of action plans tailored to immediate school requirements. My computer doesn't mess this up.
Hi. So at West Oak Middle School, just actually before I even say that, I just wanted to say that we've noticed, in our PLC meetings, all the way up from the district level and down through our building levels, that the practice of gathering data and then providing the necessary training for all of our staff to understand the best ways to respond to that data, so that we can create action plans together, is really something we consistently see. So on that note, in our PLC meetings, we are incorporating culturally responsive practices, and we do have time for continued collaboration with each other during that time. Similar to what has been mentioned already, we are using many different data points to gather information about our students, many different tools. I won't list them all again, but there they are. And then we have also our needs assessment data, which is getting reviewed and used in multiple ways. Our BLT meets monthly with Mr. Peterson, and we also have the 100-day BLT check-ins happening with Dr. Sharma Lewis. I think I got it all. Thank you.
Mr. Rogers, would you like to come up here, or are you going to be speaking from your seat? I think everybody would love that. All right. Financial excellence. I am going to hand the floor over to Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. I am so jealous that you guys got to hear from some wonderful people. I need to train Polly to do this with me for the finale later in the year, but I got to do some extra training for that one. So there's 3 main areas for financial excellence. It's to negotiate and ratify a new CBA, maintain an operating fund balance to expenditure ratio of 105%, and implement energy saving initiatives to reduce, to engage in sustainable practices and reduce energy savings by 8%. So that's been a really fun one to dive into, and it's really been a first time we've been trying to develop some metrics for that. So I did attach a lot of different documents in here for you to review, but for the collective bargaining agreement that was ratified in October, I updated, it's in October, signed in December, but all retro pay has been appropriately paid out to staff. We've got a couple of financial metrics there. So because of our nice audit that we did receive, the ISB financial profile score did tick up slightly. So it went from a 3.8 to 3.9. Some of that's to do with mostly long-term debt that is coming off the books, but still maintaining strong fiscal practices. And as of the December 31st Treasurer's Report that you guys have in your packet, we're anticipating right now around a $300,000 surplus. Now that number will fluctuate depending on when grants do come in. We're hopeful and confident we're not going to have any delays in our federal grants right now. As I mentioned last meeting, most of the grants that are talked about having some fluctuations will be for next fiscal year, which we'll explore in the budget cycle. And part of the 105% fund balance to expenditure ratio, goal there. Looking into it a little bit more, we can still see about $100,000 deficit at the end of the year and still hit that metric. So we're still tracking nicely for that. So I don't expect you to dive in for the next one with some of those attachments there, but I just wanted to provide them to get an idea on what the finance and the operations department is looking into in terms of energy savings initiative. So Chris Thibodeau has done a great job on really doing a very deep dive into our electric and natural gas usage, and it's starting to develop some great baseline data. Now, we're going to see if the 8% is going to be ambitious or not based on some of these weather trends we're seeing here. But Chris has really done a great job on identifying some focus points for us. So we've been able to put in a new building automation system at Diamond Lake School. We're putting in some more sustainable practices at West Oak campus, but it's really trying to find out the appropriate levels of comfort versus cost savings. So Chris and I are going to start working with staff on doing some pilots in different areas of the building that we can really isolate and try out and say, hey, we can check in every day and say, how comfortable is your building? How comfortable is your side of the building, your rooms, and try to figure out different times where we can pull back our energy usage and really reduce our reduce our consumption, increase our savings. So we'll provide some more data once we hopefully hit around spring break for that one. So now we are on to priority 5.
Right, get to join the group up here. So for communications excellence, we focus on 3 areas: excellence, communications practice. The principals and staff communicate effectively, and effective communications are received by all stakeholders. Now, the areas I wanted to start off with specifically is focusing on the data as opposed to focusing on just the couple surveys we send to our staff, whether our staff or families, is look at the data that's there to give a full, true picture of how communication is exemplified at D76. So from the perspective of our academic and how we're making our connections with how our students are progressing in the classrooms, we focus a lot on our learning management system. So if you're at this building, you're using Seesaw. If you're at West Oak campus, you're using Google Classroom. And from those perspectives, and as much as I like to collect data and look at how we progress in the areas of communication, it's a good understanding of how often we are communicating. So average year-to-date posts at utilizing Seesaw here is roughly 497 posts that are happening on a regular basis here at DLS, which is great. Our families are connected through that, so they actually get to see academically and actually even like image-wise of how students are doing here at this building. And if we transition over to West Oak campus, Google Classroom, I mean, you roughly have around 1,400 plus posts that are happening on a regular basis. If our staff are utilizing Guardian access, then our guardians have a monthly report. I know as a parent, I love receiving those at the end of the week, so I know how my students are progressing, as it's another way of communicating outside of how we typically communicate one-on-one. In addition to that, the 2 new features we utilize this year, which I think is huge to be able to collect on how often we are communicating, is our parent weekly update. We moved from just our posting to our website, and we always do our weekly update every Friday, which we all know and love. But on top of that, we actually have a new website that collects information on what are our actual monthly views. So who is actually viewing it, which is great. You get to see the progress of it over the course of the year, as well as what's that average time? What's the attention span of a parent on how often we're looking at weekly updates, as well as what areas that we could grow in when it comes to communication from the school level to the family level as well. And we did very similar aspect with our staff bulletins. So as opposed to just your typical email, it's making sure it's clear, concise, and it's beneficial from a principal perspective of communicating for our staff on how often we're viewing it from a staff perspective, and our average minutes we actually view that information, which is, you wouldn't have that information without actually tying in some metrics on it to see how we're progressing, seeing if we're communicating really well. So a lot of those items, I wanted to start off with that, which I think it's beneficial. We just completed the culture and climate survey, which we'll review at our district leadership retreat. But on top of that, share that information at the last meeting we'll have when we're talking about our goals and priorities. But overall, with our parent engagement survey, we have multiple different data points that range from 92% to 83% of how we are communicating, whether from a school level to a district level. Anecdotally, when we look at a lot of that quantitative evidence and even the qualitative of the comments that we receive, nothing is actually provided that is in a negative sense. When it comes to how communication is always relatively positive, but we all know with our parent engagement survey, we only have a certain amount of people that do respond. So I wanted to lead with a lot of data to show how often and all the work that's being, positive work that's being done from the classroom to the schools, the district, when it comes to communicating with our families.
So we are just going to close out with, as we started out, we're on a cycle of continuous improvement. We monitor with our PAC 4 times a year how we're doing in each one of our goal areas. As we share in September, we look at this every 100 days. So we know that what gets measured gets done and what gets recognized gets done again and even better. And that's something that we've really strived to do, where we level up each year, each of our goal areas, all of our action plans, having our staff share in that ownership piece of it. So it's really nice to hear your perspective and how you're doing the same things and doing it consistently, but you all have your unique perspective, and it's developmental, starting out from Diamond Lake all the way up to the middle school. So thank you, all of you, for presenting tonight, as well as Mr. Rogers and Mr. Hanson. And just an opportunity now for the board, if there's any questions or feedback.
I have a question. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for being here tonight and for the time you spent on your presentations. We always love hearing from teachers. We love hearing what you're doing. We love seeing you guys collaborate. So thank you for coming. We really appreciate hearing from you. I would just like to ask for whoever would like to answer, out of everything you shared with us tonight, what do you feel personally has been the most impactful? Whether that's for your team, whether that's for your students, your particular classroom, what do you think has really made an impact? Don't all go at once. Prokowski, were you gonna say something? Yeah, go ahead. Does anyone else want to share? Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I think as a board, we always kind of wonder when we get these presentations, like, what do you really think about, the different things, especially since you have a lot of data. We're asking you to use a lot of different systems. We're asking you to give a lot of tests. What does that actually translate into when you look at what you're teaching and what you're seeing, making an impact on your students? So thank you very much for sharing that. And again, we really appreciate your time and seeing you tonight, especially since it's so cold.
And that concludes our presentations for this evening. So thank you again.
See you.
Yes. Thank you for the love and support for your colleagues. I know, again,
So nice.
as Mrs. Hale said, it's so cold out, so we appreciate you guys staying and being here and participating. So thank you again. And you're welcome to stay for the business meeting, but we understand if you, oh, that's your cue.
Congratulations. Nice to see you. I can't believe you've been here 20 years, Mrs. Lynch. Time flies. Okay, we are gonna now move on to the business agenda for the evening. We have like 5 items, everything's for action. The first item on the business agenda is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If anyone, board member, staff, administrator, or citizen wishes to have a separate vote on any item or items, that item or items will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Be it resolved that the Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education accepts and approves the omnibus vote agenda items A through D as listed. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Mr. Candela? Mr. Becker? Ms. Angarola? Ms. Bailiff? Yes. Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Houghton? Yes.
Okay, that motion is approved. The next item up for action is a personnel item. Be it resolved that the Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education accepts and approves the personnel item as depicted on the agenda. We have 1 maternity leave. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Second. Mr. Becker? Mr. Houghton? Ms. Angarola? Ms. Bailiff? Yes. Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Candela?
Okay, the next item up for action is approving the West Oak Intermediate School Principal Contract for Natalie Collette. Be it resolved, the Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education approves the recommendation from the district to approve the contract of Miss Natalie Collette for the West Oak Intermediate School Principal position. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Ms. Bailiff? Yes. Mr. Becker? Ms. Angarola? Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Houghton? Yes. Mr. Candela?
Okay, and that is approved. Congratulations. Very nice to see you. No, not at all, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that I am so humbled and excited to accept the principal position at West Oak Intermediate for the 25-26 school year. I have been the proud assistant principal at Hawthorne Middle School South for the past 6 years, just down the road. And I have always been so impressed with the amazing work that Dr. Sharma Lewis, the board, the staff have done to embrace, empower, and excel not only the students, but also the families and the community of Diamond Lake. I am very excited to meet all of the students and the families and foster strong relationships with them at West Oak Intermediate. I'm also looking forward to working with Dr. Knoll and the staff there to continue the work on the mission and vision in District 76. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity to serve the Diamond Lake community and sparkle on.
No, congratulations and welcome. We're very excited to have you. Okay, moving on to the next item on the business agenda, that is approving the district superintendent bonus. Be it resolved, the Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education approves a $5,000 bonus for the superintendent. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Becker? Mr. Houtman?
Yes.
Ms. Angelola? Yes. Ms. Bayless? Yes. Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Condella?
Okay, that motion is also approved. Congratulations, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then moving on to our last item on the business agenda, that is the Press Plus issue 117 policy updates. Did anyone have any questions or want to have any discussion before we moved on to approve those? Okay, I'm taking silence as a no. Whereas policy creation and updates and changes to adopted policies are provided for District 76 through the subscription to Policy Reference Educational Subscription Service, PRESS, from the IAS, Illinois Association of School Boards, IASB, and whereas the policy committee reviewed the policies and a first reading of the policies was held at the committee of the whole meeting on February 4th, 2025. Therefore, be it resolved, the Diamond Lake School District 76 Board of Education moves to approve the policy changes as presented and reviewed in IASB Press Issue 117. May I have a motion to approve, please? Second?
Mr. Houtman?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Ms. Angelola? Yes. Ms. Bayless? Yes. Mr. Becker? Mr. Condella?
Okay, that is also approved. That concludes that portion of our business agenda. Moving on to board discussion, there are just a number of kind of key dates there.
So I just wanted to put them on everyone's calendar and just bring them to your attention that April 22nd will be the last board meeting of our current board, since the consolidated elections are April 1st. And then we have 30 days to seat the new board, which I believe will then be at the May 6th meeting, sitting of the new board. So that's your last board meeting in the sense of, I don't think you'll have to come because we have
Only
quorum.
if you want to come.
Yes, so you don't have to come. Those at our next meeting together in a few weeks, and just looking ahead to make sure that the first and third Tuesdays, as we normally do it, still work for her schedule as well. So we'll have that ready to go at the second meeting in May, which I believe is, sorry, I don't have it in front of me. May 20th. So we'll have that. And then May 30th is our end of the year party, which I hope, even though you may not be on the board anymore, you would still come and celebrate our amazing school year and recognize our staff for years of service, and one in particular person who's going to retire. And then, so we'd love to see you there, whoever that may be, some random person, but I know you've got the invite, but so please, if you are able to join us for a short while, we'd love to see you there. And then on June 3rd, I wanted to see if it works for you. It is a regularly scheduled board meeting for the four of you, possibly having a new board member orientation, and just similar to what we've done with all of you, is just kind of go over all the district level departments, and then maybe just meeting protocols and you know, operating principles and things like that we've done. So if that works for you, we could do like a 6 o'clock or even 5:30 and have some dinner. But I just wanted to put that on your radar. If it works for you now, that's great. We can plan forward for it. If not, if you want to get back to us and let us know for the four of you that are staying on and serving.
Okay.
Yeah, works. June,
I won't be there. but
June
that-
3rd,
but
you won't be
don't
there?
need me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can confirm with Nikki just to make sure. That
Yeah.
and then we'll confirm next time. How's that? Because
Yeah.
if she can't come, then we can look at a
Yeah.
different date. All right. Yep.
Okay,
So any questions or comments about those dates? Okay,
awesome.
thank you.
Moving on to FOIA requests, we had one, it was fulfilled. Notices and communications.
No
No
highlights. either.
highlights either? Okay, we now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Do either of you have any comments you'd like to share? Okay. Fantastic. We'll remember. Okay, then there being no additional public comments, we move on to others. Does anyone have anything for others? Okay, then there being no others, we will adjourn to executive session for the appointments, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or against legal counsel for the district to determine its validity, and for student disciplinary cases. May I have a motion to adjourn to executive session?
Mr. Becker? Mr. Candela? Ms. Rolla? Yes. Ms. Bayless? Yes. Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Houghton?
Okay, thanks, everybody.